Hero.
Good afternoon, students. I'm audible.
Yes, sir.
Okay, in last class we discussed about linear algebra and we completed that one. So in today class, I'm going to discuss about calculus. So what you studied in calculus? Anybody? What's the calculus? Studied so many things in calculus. Hearing syllabus. Anyone of you can you define what's this calculus? Anybody? In this module, Briefly, I'll tell what and all we are going to discuss. First thing is function. So because this is the main thing, so we should know function. So based on function only we'll check towards the whether it is function is continuous or not. After that, differentiability. So next one, after this one function, we are going to discuss limit of a function. Next one, continuity of a function. So just you have to decide whether the function is continuous or not. So in case if you come into discontinuous, there will be three types. One is removable discontinuous. Am I audible? Discontinuity of first kind and discontinuity of second kind. So next, differentiability. I think you have studied most of the things from differentiability in engineering itself. What you studied, anybody, you remember what and all concepts you studied based on differentiability?
Partial differentials, derivatives and its application, sir.
Partial derivatives and its application. Before that, in +2, have you studied differentiability?
Yes, sir.
So in that one way, what you studied application part in +2?
Not in plus.
Yes. In +2, in PU, what you studied based on differentiability? Have you studied increasing and decreasing function? Can you apply? Application of this one is, so just the main thing in differentiability is application part. So what are the applications of differentiability? First thing is, so we can discuss whether the function is increasing or decreasing function. Whether the function is increasing or decreasing function by using differentiability. Have you studied this one, this concept in +2? Have you studied or not? Application part, differentiability. Am I audible, guys?
Yes, sir.
Increasing, decreasing, you are not studied, huh? Have you studied maxima and minima?
Yes, sir.
Maxima and minima. So
Yeah, studied, sir, but
I'll explain whatever the needed exam for exam, whatever will be needed. So just I'm briefing out what and all we are going to discuss based on this calculus. Okay. So later I'll explain one by one. I'll explain. So in this one, next you will going to study maxima and minima of a function. Maxima and minima of a function. After this, Taylor series expansion. So this thing also you have studied in engineering. Taylor series expansion. In first semester you have studied Taylor series expansion. Taylor series and Maclaurin series. Even
We can't,
in,
sir.
yes. Yes.
Can't see the screen.
Is it? Others?
I can see, sir.
we can see, sir.
Okay, then you check your connection. Who told that thing?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So after that, in this Taylor series expansion, you study Taylor series expansion for the real valued function as well as for the what's that in numerical methods also you have studied this Taylor series, right? Taylor series method. So after this one, just mean value theorem. Mean value theorem. Actually, in mean value theorem, there are mainly three theorems are there. One is Rolle's theorem. Rolle's theorem. After that, Cauchy's mean value theorem. Cauchy's mean value theorem. First one is Rolle's theorem. Second one is Cauchy's mean value theorem. And one more, Lagrange's theorem. So these are the main three concepts. So out of these three, Cauchy's mean value, based on this, almost all 99% question will not be there. So definitely they will ask based on either Rolle's theorem or Lagrange's mean value theorem. So these are very important concepts, application part. So definitely, so from this module, for your GATE exam, almost 2 to 4 marks will be there. Out of 15 marks, 2 to 4 marks they will give from this module. So these are easy only, but you should remember the formulas because you know already how to find out the maxima and minima because you are aware about. So you should, if you are thorough with the differentiation formulas, then it will be easy. Okay. After this, partial differentiation. After this, partial differentiation. So this one you have studied in first semester itself, right? Partial differentiation. So that means whenever the function is having more than one variable, so then we will study the partial differentiation. So whenever the function is having more than one variable, then you have to apply the partial differentiation. So in this one also, application part means first you have to Euler's theorem. We are going to study Euler's theorem. And when you come into application part means once again maxima and minima of a function. So this will be applicable only for the function of two variables, maxima and minima. Maxima and minima of a function. After that, total derivatives. So these are the main things you are going to study in partial differentiation. After this one, integration. So that is integral calculus. This also is included in this module, integration. So here also you are going to study application part. So just to find out how to find out the area of the any curve or below the curve, and then length of the curve. After that, volume of revolution. Next thing, so far it will be applicable only for non-CS students. Non-CS means you may be what's that civil branch or mechanical or EC or EEE. So for all those apart from CS branch, so they are going to study what's that multiple integrals. So this is included in your syllabus, multiple integrals. So in this one you already studied in second semester. I think in second semester you have studied multiple integrals. So here based on what concepts they will give questions means change of order of integration. Change of order of integration. So second one, change of variables. That is, you can change polar coordinates into Cartesian coordinates or sometimes Cartesian coordinates into polar coordinates. Change of variables. And then application part. So just once again here also you will study area, volume of revolution, etc. So these are the concepts we are going to study in this module. So first up to whatever I have written before non-CS, that will be applicable for everybody. So that only multiple integrals will be applicable for civil, mechanical, automobile or EC or EEE. So for CS up to integration, what's that application of integration, volume of revolution. So that is the syllabus is same. Okay. So let's discuss one by one. So we have to start the discussion from function. So before going to the definition of function, first let us know what are variables. So because we are going to use, so if you are defining function or anything means definitely it will be in terms of variables. So what are variables? Anybody? What are variables? What are variables? Is it height of a person? Is it variable? Height of a person, is it variable or not?
Yes, sir.
Weight of a function, weight of a person, is it variable?
Yes, sir.
Number of students, population, population of any country, time. So these are all variables only. So that means any. So we are going to use some algebraic what's that letters. So if there is no particular value to that letter means then we call that one as variable, right? So if it is having some definite value, then we call that one as constants. So these are always indicated by some x, y, z or a, b, c, anything. Small letters we are going to use for the notation for variables. So these variables are classified into two types. First one is discrete variable, and then second one is continuous variable. First one is discrete variable, second one is continuous variable. So discrete means there should be a gap between numbers. There should be a gap between numbers. So best example for this one is natural numbers, right? So natural numbers means it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so on. So these are the natural numbers. So natural numbers are the best examples for discrete variables. And continuous means that we can't mention exactly what's the number. We have to take the range, the number in the range some closed interval a comma b. In case if you want particularly means you can take some 1 comma 4 or 1 comma 3, anything, right? So if you mention in the range in the interval 1 comma 4 means there will be how many number will be present in between 1 and 4? How many numbers? Is it 2?
2, 3.
2, 3. Only 2 numbers, right?
Yes, sir.
2 and 3. So if it is closed interval means you have to include even 1 and 4 also. Then how many?
4.
That was 2, 3, 4.
2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, right? So now 1.5, is it a number? (1.5) is it a number or not?
Yes, sir.
1.7,
Yes, sir.
2.7, 2.77777 up to infinity. Is it a number?
Yes, sir.
Then how many numbers in between 1 and 4?
Infinite.
Yes. How many numbers are there?
Infinity.
Infinite.
Infinite numbers. Whenever you are going to take the interval means that will indicate that there will be infinite numbers in between. There will be infinite numbers in between any interval. You may take just 1 comma 1.1. So in between 1 comma 1.1, 1 and 1.1, there will be infinite numbers. For example, how we can construct infinite numbers? 1.000000 up to infinity. So this is the one number. So next 1.0000 up to at the end of the number, it may be 1. So next 1.00000, last but one digit 1. So like this we can construct infinite right? So that's why if you considered any two intervals, in the interval between any two numbers means there will be infinitely many numbers will be present in between any two real numbers. If you consider the set of real number system, so in between any two real numbers, there will be, so we can't say exactly what's the next number. So that is the difficulty to tell. So what's the next number in real numbers, right? So whenever you are using a set of natural numbers or set of integers or set of whole numbers, we can say what is the next number. If you are considered natural numbers means, so if you consider 2 means next number will be 3. 3 means next number will be 4. If you come into set of integers means -2. What's the next number? -2. After -2, which will be the number?
-3.
You should not tell -3. You should move to right hand side. Right hand side means -1 will be the next number, right?
Okay, sir.
So like that, any two, in case if you consider the whatever natural numbers, whole numbers or set of integers, then you can say or predict what's the next number. But in case if you come into set of rational numbers, irrational numbers or set of real numbers, it's very difficult to pick the next number, which will be the next number. So that's why we used to mention those numbers by some interval. It may be open interval or closed interval. The difference between open interval and closed interval is, so in open interval, all the elements will lies in between those two elements will be in that set. But in closed interval, including all the interior points, exterior point 1 and 4. For example, if you consider closed interval 1, 4 means 1 and 4 also will belongs to that set. But if you consider open interval 1, 4 means, so it will consist all the elements or all the numbers which lies between 1 and 4. But in that set, 1 will not belongs to that set, as well as 4 also will not belongs to that set. So that is the difference between open interval and closed interval. So I hope you understood what's the discrete and continuous. Just to remember like this, if there is a gap between number, then we can say that it is a discrete number. And if there is no gap, or if you are if you are not able to tell exact number, so in that case you can say that, so that lies in between some range, so that will become our continuous random variable. So now just to tell me, height of the person, is it continuous random variable or discrete random variable? Is it continuous or discrete? Height of the person. Shankar Chavan, if you are going to answer, then you unmute, otherwise mute yourself. Shankar Chavan. So just to bifurcate whatever we mentioned examples for variables into discrete or continuous random variable. First one is height of the person, weight of the person, number of students, population, and then time. So now height of the person, is it a continuous variable or discrete variable? So just to tell me what it will be, discrete or continuous, height of the person?
Discrete, sir.
Discrete. So is it possible to 5.85 height of
No,
the
sir,
person?
continuous. Continuous, sir.
Continuous, right? So if it is having some natural numbers, then we can say that it is discrete variable. So height of the person means definitely it will be having some decimals. So that's why we can say that it is continuous variable. So next, weight of the person.
Continuous.
Number of students,
Discrete.
Discrete.
discrete, right? So here there will be no decimal part. So that's why we can say that it is a discrete variable. Population,
Continuous.
population continuous, huh?
Discrete,
sir.
sir.
Sir,
Discrete
suppose like
or con-
1.5 billion, something like that, then what is it, sir?
1.5 billion means that is also what's the natural number only,
Okay, yeah.
right? It is not the what's that real
yeah.
number. You can't split the person into half or
Yeah.
quarter like that. Next time, time is it discrete or continuous?
Discrete. Discrete, sir.
Discrete. Are you sure?
Continuous, sir.
So actually time, so just to see the your screen, so digital and analog. You can refer the time by using digital watch or it may be analog clock. Okay. So if you are using digital means it will give only what's that hour with minutes, right? There will be no seconds. So but if you come into analog means it will be so seconds also will be included. That's why in this case it's difficult to bifurcate this one time whether it is discrete or continuous. But if you are referring analog means you can say that it is continuous variable. If you are using digital means we can say that it is discrete. So now I'll come into main concept for this module, which is basic for calculus, that is function. So this is very important. If you understood the definition of function thoroughly, so then only you can apply continuous, whether you can check whether the function is continuous. So anything, whatever you take, differentiability you take or integrability you take, so definitely function will be there. So that's why the important concept, the main important basic concept for this module is function. Anybody, can you define what is the function? What is a function? What is a function? Have you studied this function? I think plus 2 itself, it's there sets. After that, relations module and third module or something. So I think third module only function is there in plus 2 itself, right?
Don't remember, sir.
What is a function? No need to tell exact definition mathematically. Whatever you understood, that thing you try to tell. Okay. So in your own manner, you can tell. I don't want a mathematical definition only. Anybody?
F of X, F of Y, something like that. We call it as a function, sir.
F of X, F of Y, we call it function. Okay, just I'll take one function. F of X equals square root of X. Is it a function?
Yes, sir.
Are you sure? Who told? Kirtana told, right? F of X and F of Y.
Yes, sir.
Okay, F of X equals root X. You are telling it is a function. I will tell we can't decide. I can't decide. It may be function, it may not be function. Both chances will be there. So for example, so when you come into function means, actually function is nothing but association between two non-empty sets. Association between two non-empty sets. For example, if you take an F from X to Y, or you may take F from A to B also. You may take anything, okay? So these A and B, so these A and B, capital A and B, will indicates non-empty sets. Will indicates non-empty sets. Okay. So here A and B are non-empty sets means, you know, non-empty means at least one element should be there in that set, right? So we have this side. So if you take an f of x equals root x, so we don't know exactly what's the domain and codomain, right? So I take the function for this one A and B. For the function f of x equals root x, I will take set of natural numbers. Okay. So natural numbers is mapping natural numbers to natural numbers. Is there association for all the elements? Association will happen in between those two sets A and B. Association should happen for all the elements of the domain A. Is it happens?
No, sir.
For which element it will not happen?
When it is the same thing.
Yes. What will be the square root of x? So that means they should take one number 4. What is the square root of 4? What is the value of square root of 4?
2, sir.
Is it 2? Exactly.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
It's not minus 2.
Plus or minus.
Plus or minus
Plus or
2.
minus 2. Right. So now plus or minus 2 means it's an image of two elements. Right. So but if you come into natural numbers means only plus 2 is belongs. Right. So plus 2 will map to square root of 4. Right. So because there is no minus 2 in the set of natural numbers, that's why we can say that only one element is there which is having image square root of 4. So now you take one more element square root of 5. What will be the pre-image for this one? Square root of 5. Root of 5.
Some decimal value, sir. 2 point. Plus or minus 2 point.
Yeah, some decimal value. That's enough. Okay. Now you have to decide, is it belongs to the set of natural numbers, the decimal value? Is it belongs to the set of natural numbers?
Yes, sir.
Is it belongs to set of natural numbers?
No,
Set of-
sir. Decimal numbers doesn't come on numbers.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Counting numbers are nothing but set of natural numbers, right?
Yes, sir.
While counting, anytime you have done what's that 5.2, 5.3, 5.5 like that, anytime you counted,
No, sir.
right? So that means it is not a natural number, right? So there is no association for all the elements in the set of natural numbers. So that means f of x equals root x is not a function whenever you consider a equals b equals set of natural numbers. Is it right?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
If you
sir.
consider the domain and codomain of the function, yes.
So what is a function, sir? First.
That's only I'm going to take. So in general, association between two non-empty sets. Till now, I'm not defined mathematically. The exactly function is defined. Okay.
So between two non-empty sets, in a sense, sir, like you are taken minus root 4, sir.
Yeah.
How
Root
it will
4.
be like non-empty set, sir?
So just the root 4 is nothing but just one element.
Okay, sir.
Non-empty means what? At least one element.
One element should be there, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Root 4 if you taken means just I picked one element from the set of natural numbers. 4 is this natural number, right?
Yes, sir.
So square root of 4 will be 2. That means 2 is having image.
Oh, plus 2 and minus 2. Okay, sir.
Yeah, minus 2. But minus 2 doesn't
Minus
belong-
2 is not a natural number. Yes, sir.
It's not a natural number. No need. So only one element is existing. Now if you come into root 5 means there is no image element for that root 5.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes.
Any image element? Root 5 for pre-image element. Square root of 5 means it will be some 2 point something.
2 point something, sir.
2 point something, but it doesn't belong to set of natural numbers. Is it right?
Yes, sir.
So that means there is no such element in the set of natural numbers. So that indicates for 5 there is no image element. Understood?
Yes, sir.
So that's why, so this will not become a function. So I'll tell in a short manner. So any function, so any set, so association should be what means for all the elements in the domain. First I'll tell the domain and codomain. What's the domain and codomain? So if you consider f from A to B means, so this A, first set A is nothing but domain of the function. And B, after arrow, so this is nothing but codomain of the function. Codomain of the function. Students, one thing, so I'm using my personal ID. It will get disconnect after every 40 minutes. After that, you have to join again, okay?
Okay, sir.
Okay,
The
sir.
same ID, you join again. So I think how much time left out? I think 4 or 5 minutes left out, okay? After that, you join again. So if you consider f from A to B means, it will be, so the first set, whatever left to arrow will be there. So that will be the domain of the function. And right to arrow, whichever set will be there. So that one we call it as codomain of the function. And f of x equals, for example, if you consider y equals f of x, where x belongs to domain. F of x means you have to consider the element in the domain. So the whatever image, so whatever it's mapping to some element in the codomain. So here y belongs to B. So this y is nothing but image of f of image of x under the mapping f. So under the mapping f, image of x will be y. Are you getting?
It means that y depends on x, no, sir?
Yeah, y depends on x. If you want to find out, if you know the exactly function means, what is the given function is there means, so just by putting x values, you can get the different values of y. For example,
sir.
hold now f of x equals root x. In that one only, if you are putting x equals 4, then you'll get the value of y are plus or minus root 2. Right. So like that you'll get the values. So that is nothing but image. And x is nothing but here.